sincere in that. You follow what I'm saying? And I know you're sincere, and I don't want you to hurt by what I'm saying. Okay? Because I can't reach you if I hurt you. You understand what I'm saying? You can't reach a person by hurting them, man. By attacking them. You gotta somehow or another present it in a way to where they know you really care. You know, so that's why I keep asking, y'all all right?
A friend of mine that suggested that my next book be entitled "Don't Know and Don't Want to Know." And this is what we find in our community amongst our young people. They have pretty much, excuse my language, but they pissed on the dream, so to speak. They don't want to know about a man that lived in black and white, that wore a funny-looking suit, that called himself Martin. I mean, please, that's funny now. We have taken that dream and told him and everybody that was involved with that to go shove it, because we have regressed very rapidly. And when you said it on your radio, that you had programs that were technologically geared toward young people and you know, learning, and they pretty much, the ratings went down. At some point in time, you have got to ask yourself, what's the matter with us mentally? You know, are we this inferior thinking being that our imperialists have said for so long?
Right.
Now, let me address that. I know that it's painful for a lot of people, but no, I don't believe that we are. But I believe that a person can be made to become inferior thinking over a period of generations. When you look at slavery,
right.
You look at oppression, when you look at breeding, they didn't take the smartest buck and made them with the smartest. They took the biggest. When you look at the non-scientific approach to mating, here we are, we have sex and a baby comes. There's no scientific approach to that. You have crack. Right. Just random.
You look at the school system.
Exactly. We have sex and a baby comes. There's no scientific approach to that. You have crack. Right. Just random.
You look at the school system.
Exactly. The school, you got crack. You got the liquor stores that over a period of time have produced a certain mentality that has a distaste toward education, a distaste toward learning. It's easy to sit in front of the TV because it doesn't challenge you mentally. You have add to that the stress of being black. Add to that the diet of Kool-Aid and fatback and ham hock and chitlins. Add to that the poverty. Add to that the fear that Christianity to me is what I call the free thought killer. They're basically, your preachers are thought wardens. They stand at the gate and make sure that a thought that they didn't give you does not come in. So over a period of years, your whole cellular structure is subjective to being changed based on habit. We have become
based on habit.
Based on habit, we have become have created that.
You gotta understand that habitual habit. The beast got time. Okay, they got patience. They sit back and they'll do the same thing repetitiously over and over and over to get your subconscious mind programmed to where they want it to be programmed. They don't care if it take 20 years, 30 or whatever. They got patience.
A habit of not wanting to know, a habit of not learning, a habit of not researching. And so we become comfortable with that.
Right.
And so when we produce an offspring, that offspring is conceived under...
But what started that habit of not wanting to study and do that? What started that habit? That religion? Because first thing people gonna say is this ain't my battle, this is God's battle. I'm leaving it in the Lord's hands. So when you saying that, I'm leaving it in the Lord's hands, you know what I'm saying? That right there started that habit. You don't want to do your homework now, because it's God's battle.
Based on habit, we have become have created a habit of not wanting to know, a habit of not learning, a habit of not researching. And so we become comfortable with that. And so when we produce an offspring, that offspring is conceived under that same spirit. And over a period of time, you nothing, be apathetic.
If a person sincerely knows this information and they're not
It do literally hurt people's brains when you talk the truth. Go ahead and start talking to them about, you know what I'm saying, about some truth stuff. They gonna like, come on, man. I ain't trying to hear that. They gonna grab their heads. I done seen it all. Grab their ears. The truth hurts, man. It hurts the boss head.
not teaching it, then are they
The boss is dropping stuff on the floor right now, so if y'all hear some noise, it's the boss right now. They next door.
a willing participant in our oppression?
In answer to your second question, yes. With answer but stop. I know several ministers who have this knowledge, are very clear on our ancient African ancestry. But
I want y'all to hear what he just
Our
said.
oppression.
Back to nothing,
Listen
be
what he
apathetic.
just said.
If a person sincerely knows this information and they're not teaching it, then are they a willing participant in our oppression?
in answer to your second question, yes. With answer but stop. I know several ministers who have this knowledge, are very clear on our ancient African ancestry, but they are not free to teach. It's really kind of difficult unless you are one of these kind of people, man, who are saying, I'm gonna go for broke. Just to tell the truth, I don't care what. And you know, I'm glad to say we have right now about 8 pastors, more like 11 pastors, that are making the transition to African consciousness and coming aboard with the African village. But the reason why they're doing that is because they have a support system. You follow what I'm saying? I know of a pastor in St. Louis who wears an ankh. And I saw him one day coming out of a breakfast place, and I said, hey man, what you doing with that on? And he said, what? I said, what you got on your chest? He said, oh, I said, you know what that is? He said, yeah, it's an ark, man. I said, you know what it means? He said, yeah, it's the Egyptian symbol of life. I said, well, why don't you teach this to your congregation? You know, big Methodist preacher there. And his exact words to me was, man, these ends don't want to hear that.
You see that?
That's what he said.
You see that?
He said, man, I've known this for years.
You see that? That's what the pastor said about y'all niggas. He said, these niggas ain't trying to hear that. I'm going to say it for y'all. And these ninjas ain't trying to hear that. You know what I'm saying? That's what the pastor can't even give you the truth, even if he wanted to. Because we talking about some dead folk that be going to church. Y'all, they're so dead that they want to hear the lies. They go for the lies. Go there and start preaching something else, man. Matter of fact, this guy right here, Ray Higgin, he said he lost thousands of members when he started teaching about African civilization. Really, like, speaking the truth about Christianity. He lost all the members. So, you know, the dead, Jesus said, let the dead bury the dead.
Methodist preacher there. And his exact words to me was, man, these ends don't want to hear that. That's what he said, you know. He said, man, I've known this for years. He said, I'm trying to share with our people they don't want to know about it. It's impossible for the African mind to experience liberation without first dealing with the psychosis of religion. Brother Ray, what do you mean by the psychosis of religion? See, again, I have to do this because I'm dealing with the mind. As a psychologist, that's the battlefield, people. Right. The mind. A psychosis is a severe mental condition of a person at a specific moment in which that person loses contact with reality. Therefore, the psychosis of religion is when a person who, as a result of the religious teaching, beliefs, influences, and indoctrination of their religious group or organization loses contact with reality. That's a religious psychosis. Y'all got me? Or the psychosis of religion. Okay? Now, how does that happen when it comes to our religion? Let me go there for a moment. Okay? Due to a mental disease called selective amnesia, we have allowed ourselves to see the enemy of our ancestors as our friend. Yes, sir. Think about that.
Y'all better think about
History's
that.
principal function is to first separate us from the reality of ourselves. Separate us from the reality of ourselves. To separate us from the reality of the world. To separate us from the reality of our story. And to separate us from its power and ramifications. We know his story. Rather than we know our story. In fact, guess what, y'all? You can't even get out of school until you know his story. Let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. I was talking to a brother who was letting me know that he's a descendant of the tribe of Judah. He was serious, and I respect what he feels and what he thinks and what he believes. But I asked him this question. I said, brother, let me explain something to you. If the European historiographers had never gave us a Bible, you wouldn't be talking about no tribe of Judah. Okay, you realize that Christianity had never gave us. And I said, brother, let me explain something to you. If the European historiographers had never gave us a Bible, you wouldn't be talking about no tribe of Judah.
See, y'all Hebrew Israelites gotta understand that. You know what I mean? I'm gonna let them say it one more time. I'm gonna let Ray Hagan do the talk. Go ahead, say it one more time for the slow ones in the back.
Who's letting me know that his story. Let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. I was talking to a brother who was letting me know that he's a descendant of the tribe of Judah. He was serious, and I respect what he feels and what he thinks and what he believes. But I asked him this question. I said, brother, let me explain something to you. If the European historiographers had never gave us a Bible, you wouldn't be talking about no tribe of Judah.
Right.
Okay, you realize that Christianity is not right for you. You don't want to. Don't want to be a part of Islam. So what you did is you went back into the Old Testament of their literature.
Fact.
Did y'all grab what I just said? Y'all all right? All right. See, I know when I step outside somebody's circle, I feel it. I feel the vibe. So that's why I say, y'all all right? Okay. So, brother, I said, why is it that we're still going back to their literature to find our identity?
Fact.
Am I making sense?
They don't want to let go. People don't want to let go. You go. That's why I say, man. You go You go to Jesus, to Yahweh Shawahai. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you just want to put on, just trying to remix. You take the white picture, the white painting of Jesus down, put a black painting of Jesus up. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on.
The thing about it is we compulsively do it. In other words, we're doing it out of a need for identity. Edwin Smith went on to say in his book, the first method begins by destroying the institutions, tradition, and religion and habits of the people, and then superimpose upon the ruins whatever the governing power considers to be a better administration system. What they're saying is, let's destroy the black people's way of life, and then superimpose upon the damage our way of life for them to fall in love with. Okay? Let me move quickly on here. As a result, we Africans have become black Anglo-Saxons. If you don't have this book, I encourage you to get it. It's by Dr. Nathan Hare.
The black Anglo-Saxon.
One of the most.
I don't have that book.
The black Anglo-Saxons. One of the most effective ways to suppress a people is by putting a device in place that will disassociate those people from their God, their spirituality, their culture, and their history. So they put a device in place that would ensure their perpetual empowerment over the minds of those whom they deceive. And that device is called religion. We must understand, brothers and sisters, that religion and spirituality are 100% incompatible. I say again, religion and spirituality are 100% incompatible.
Great.
Why is this? Because one is about conquering and controlling an individual.
Yep.
Which one is it?
Religion.
Religion. The other is about the growth and personal development of an individual. Now let me give you an excerpt from the...
You cannot fix a problem unless you can properly explain it.
Holla back, y'all. Tell me what you think. Comment down below.